What's up, you guys? We're talking Barry Chapter 5, Do Your Job. We have a crazy warehouse shootout. We get some lessons in toxic masculinity. And Gene Cousineau and Detective Moss get it on, so don't go away.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
The face you just gave. That's the exact face I give when I hear this song. Nice for what? We don't know. Nice for what is perfect because we're talking about toxic men, you guys. And why do we have to be nice? I don't know.
Exactly.
Like I said, you guys, it's Chapter 5, Do Your Job. This was a crazy episode. We have the warehouse shootout. Sally and Barry have some awkward interactions. And then she gets kind of annoying. We have a really crazy acting scene where Macbeth kind of becomes Barry, essentially. And then we have Gene Cousineau and Detective Moss are progressing their relationship and the investigation as well. Yeah, who is right? I'm joined by my two lovely ladies.
Miss Conversation piece right here.
What's up, party people? I'm Erika Edwards.
We're missing Tequila. We miss you, but she'll be back next week. So just what's your guys' overall opinions of this episode?
This is a great episode. I was like wishing it was still going on right now.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. I mean, I've consistently enjoyed every episode, so I think this episode also didn't disappoint. So I liked it a lot.
I agree. This was it was the craziest episode in terms of I feel like production value. Like that warehouse scene I felt like was a legit side movie of just killings, and I love that because it's funny to know that we know who Bill Hader is off screen, and to see him like in military style was hilarious. So let's just hit it off with the acting class, and then we'll move from there to the investigation that preceded that class. So it enters where Barry comes in and he's trying to reset with Sally, and she goes, I just feel like you have some toxic masculinity issues that you have to work out. I felt for her at that. I was like, yeah, give it to him because you've been dealing with some BS. But then the acting scene happened, and that brought up a lot of kind of interesting issues. I know that Bill Hader spoke on it, and he said that this scene was something they've always wanted to do, and they didn't know how to write it exactly. And then they ended up being like, oh, yeah, okay, Bill will be Macbeth, and then we'll have Fuchs as Lady Macbeth. And it's this whole idea of what is moral killing and not. What's your guys' standards on what type of killing is okay?
I mean, if it's not self-defense, then you're a psycho. I'm just saying.
Well, I don't know. Like, one, I feel like as a person who's taken acting classes and as an actor, you don't judge your character. So to me, I mean, if you watch Snapped, if you watch any shows about true crime, if you are interested in murder at all, there are a lot of things that can push people to the edge. So does that make them psycho? Did they make a mistake? Whatever. But I don't think, I think Barry's right. It doesn't ruin you forever. You're not everybody is a serial killer. Like, sometimes stuff happens.
Not a mistake if you stab someone, shoot them, poison them. I can see if you like push them like accidentally and they fell and hit their head or something. But
yeah.
If you like try to intentionally kill them, that's not a mistake. I don't think.
I'm not saying it's I think you can make a mistake, but I think there are circumstances that drive people to murder, and I don't think that makes them psycho. I mean, I think it happens.
So anybody can be a murderer. Is that what you're saying?
I think in certain circumstances,
She wants to hear the
know.
facts.
Yeah, in certain,
she wants to take them to court.
I have watched so many episodes of Snapped. I've watched so many episodes of True Crime where it was like, okay, yeah, I wouldn't have murdered someone, but I could see how that person was driven to that because the person that was murdered, sometimes
Cheated. He cheated, so he should die. No.
Yeah, I definitely think this was a turning point for Bill Hader's character, where he's Barry, where he's kind of like, can I make this happen? Like, if they ever found out who I am, they will think I'm a complete psychopath, like Gene Cousineau was saying, if you just kill just because outside of war you're a psycho. So it will be interesting to see if he's going to come back to class, because he kind of just left, and I was like, maybe it's a bad day. I'm not sure if he's made the final decision yet, because he is so entangled into this killing scheme. But really quickly, I wanted to touch on Sally because we have Natasha and Sasha, who are her other two female classmates, and they start kind of talking trash on her, and I was totally with them because she can be a complete selfish diva outside of class when she was like trash talking Barry. Did you guys feel like that?
Yeah, especially when she was on stage and she was like, no, it was better when I did it. And it's like, you're not giving constructive criticism. You're being condescending. So she's definitely a diva and definitely, she might be the psycho one, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I assume that they're going to, bring her back like at the end or whatever. But like the last several episodes, she just gets more and more irritating because she is totally self-focused. She doesn't, she puts on a pretense. And I hate to be funny, but a lot of actresses in LA are kind of like that. So they pretend like be cool, but it's really all about them. And that's how she is in every single scene. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you're toxic. So yeah, let's just not. And it's like, well, first of all, you did just sleep with him. You were all up on somebody else. So, you can't have a discussion with him about it. Like, come on. So.
Don't you think she's a toxic one and she's trying to flip it on him? Don't you hate when people do that?
Yeah.
Trying to flip it on you?
Well, she was doing that, I feel like, the entire episode to everyone. And I hate people like that because I'm like, yeah, you had a hard week, but you're annoying.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, he was in the military, and he was offended, and they should be sorry. And she's like, no, he owes us an apology. No, he doesn't. He does not.
Real quick in the booth, guys, this is Jeff. You guys
Hey,
have
Jeff.
been on the show before. I will say, I love Sarah Goldberg, and I love this performance, but her character is getting a little too self-centered for me. Like, it's funny, I believed her as the actress in LA who's kind of like passively selfish. But it's getting it to be a little much for me to the point where I almost don't believe it as much as I used to. I don't know how you guys feel.
That's interesting, actually, because I feel like it has gotten where we did start seeing sweet sides, but now it's been progressively more and more negative.
But I think it's definitely believable due to the fact that you can be that self-centered. People out here are all about self.
Well, I think it's
Some people.
believable, right? I think it's believable, but I also think that obviously the writers are setting us up for something closer to the end of the season. So I do feel like she's gonna have some audition or something really, tragic where we're gonna really see who she is. So the past couple of episodes, she has totally gotten on our nerves, but I am assuming she's not gonna write it out like this, and eventually, she's going to bring it back. Something bad is gonna happen, and we'll be like, "Oh, okay, that's the side that we liked from like the first episode."
But that's how people get you. They're nice and sweet in the beginning, and then they get on your good side, and then that's when they.
Well, I think part of it is being an actress can break you down and can make you bitter, and I guess in some circumstances make you self-centered, as it's appeared to have done to her. But they need to bring in more of her reality, because to me, she is getting very irritating.
Yeah. Something I think Sally could benefit off is a very special podcast where she can have fun, learn, and grow in all areas of your life, which we all need, but Sally really needs that right now. And if you guys are looking for this, we have the perfect podcast for you. It's called Conversations with Maria Menounos, Podcast Edition. It's hosted by our AfterBuzz TV founder, Maria Menounos, every Friday on iTunes, and it features celebrity and influencer interviews along with secrets and tips on how to be better in all aspects of life. And by the way, our very own Detective Moss was with Maria Menounos this morning, so that should be a part of that interview, should be on Friday's episode of this podcast. It covers also health and wellness, career, relationships, finances, and more. Let our Maria be the big sister you've always wanted. Just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos for free, you guys. Be sure to rate and comment. And when you do, let Maria know it was your Barry panel who sent you there. Do not forget that.
Steph,
yeah,
real quick, who else was there this morning?
Oh, you guys, I was there and I met the beautiful Paula Newsome, and I will announce our exciting news about her, but she is as great as you guys would imagine.
That's so amazing. Maria's doing so amazing with us and giving us these opportunities. So that's amazing you got to meet her today.
I know. I was gassing you guys up. I'm like, you're gonna love my panel. She's so excited.
Oh, cool.
So speaking of Detective Moss, she has a big role in this episode, and we're seeing that her role is progressing even more throughout this episode because she is giving her women's intuition, and she does not believe the hype that during her interrogations that she had, all 3 of the people she interrogated cleared. I thought that was really smart, Barry's whole plan with Fuchs and the double calls.
Oh, yeah, his alibi was ready. So I'm like, did you plan this beforehand? Like, he had to plan that,
I would
right?
assume that's the point. Like, to me, that's one of the things that I like about each episode is that we realize more and more that even though it's murder, Barry is a professional. And that's how you do it. Like, you don't have little stuff hanging and you don't know if you get picked up what you're going to say. So I love the fact that they planned that out. And it was really funny and cute, but it's like, well, if this is what you do for a living, that's what you would do.
Yeah.
You got to have 10 cell phones.
They're professionals. Professionals.
Well, Detective Moss is definitely a real detective. She is not letting up, and I thought that was smart as well, where she was like, something's not right here. And
But I kind of thought she was like, all right, well, if I keep them on the board, I can still keep hooking up with my boo. So I wasn't all the way convinced that she was like, oh, they're all criminals. She's like, well, if I keep considering them, then I have to keep going back to acting class.
Yeah, but I also think she's a professional working woman, and she feels really awkward when Gene like kind of puts her on blast like he did with holding her hand for way too long in front of the acting class.
But look at how she jumped on him with the house, though.
Oh, yeah, let's just get to that, you guys. That scene, I literally threw myself back like she didn't. Did you guys think she was going there? Because she kind of left the detective's office kind of looking sad almost.
She needed some a pick-me-up.
Vitamin D.
Yeah, I thought it was super cute. I wasn't surprised, but I thought it was adorable.
I'm not so forward in my life. Maybe I should jump on someone. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I love how she just like took the reins of that because he respects her and like obviously thinks she's walking on sunshine, and so I feel like she worked that well. He was like,
I
oh,
don't
we're
know.
doing this?
Yeah, and then plus, I mean, I think when you're at an older age like they are a little bit, some of the like, hopefully, some of the garbage back and forth you don't have to worry about as much.
Yeah. On the flip side of the investigation, we have the scene with Goron and Noho and Fuchs and Barry. And Noho his life is on the line if they don't go through with the kill. Noho was hilarious in the scene as usual. He's just such a good character. And then Barry comes with the toxic masculinity lesson to Fuchs, and this is where you kind of start seeing like something is turning on in him, and he is becoming more human, and he's realizing his excuse of I only kill like D-bags and jerks isn't really the case anymore, especially now that Fuchs wants him to kill Taylor. Did you guys think that there was a difference in his thinking as well?
I feel like as far as in the military, like that's something that I could never do, and I have to be like Jean Gastineau. Is it Cousteau? I don't know why I said Gastineau. Cousteau, and say thank you for your service, because that's something I couldn't do, and I just think murder is murder. That's how I feel.
I feel that.
I mean, I think to me from episode 1, the theme has always been Barry kills bad people. So I think that was his issue with Ryan after he got to know him and he realized, okay, Ryan was just having an affair with this woman. He's not really bad. So I think this is just a culmination of that inner struggle that they've been building since the first episode.
Yeah. Before we move on to the most like the craziest part of this episode to me, in my opinion, if you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure that you like this video, comment, don't leave it. I mean, if you have something to say, remember the chat is deleted so we won't be able to see it, so leave a comment, let us know if you have any questions, and if you are listening on iTunes, make sure to rate us 5 stars if you're loving us, and also comment on that as well. So moving forward, we have the whole stash house shootout, and Taylor completely 360'd for me as a character. He was calling Mary all episode, leaving voicemails like, "Are we gonna do this killing or what?" Like
He needs some money. That's what he needed.
He's the psychopath for real, but he ended up being kind of lovable at the end in this weird way, and I feel really creepy saying that, but we have him, they're gonna do the break-in, and Barry's kind of giving him the rundown. He's not listening, but they go in, and then they're like crazily good team together, and then Barry gets hit, and he sweeps house.
Well, I feel like Taylor did it on his own, really.
After the first part, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Barry wasn't into it. I almost thought that Barry was trying to get Taylor taken out by not having his back, so he wouldn't have to actually kill him. But then when I saw at the end that he is still here, that disputed my thought process on that. But what I do think about Taylor is that he should take Barry's spot. Like, I think that's what the sit down between Barry and Fuchs is going to be now that Taylor is not dead.
Yeah, I didn't think that Barry was trying to get Taylor killed, but I thought that Barry legitimately choked. So there are certain things, his emotions have started to come up or whatever. And so at the time when he was supposed to go in and really kill, because he did kill that little boy initially, and I think he started thinking and, basically thinking instead of really acting. And so I think he choked and kind of, felt bad or whatever. So I kind of thought that, but I was like, I think he really choked, and because he's like, well, come on, and it just worked out, and everybody was murdered. So
yeah, I'm surprised Taylor didn't feel a certain kind of way about that too, because it's like, if you're supposed to be my backup, we're having this conversation, like,
right, I thought so too. But
you're
then
supposed to be my backup.
I think probably Taylor doesn't really know how good Barry is yet, like we do. So Taylor was probably like, this little wimp couldn't do it anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, that's why he called me, because he knew I could do it. He was that sort of pompous. So that's kind of what I thought he was thinking. Because that's why I was like, well, I'll be mad. Like, you're supposed to have my back. You had me in there by myself. We're covering each other. What are you doing? Now you chicken out. But it was nice that he was still kind of cool about it.
And kind of like V was saying, I think this scene in this whole episode, it was actually directed by Hiro Murai. Is that correct, Jeff?
I think Murai.
Murai.
Yeah.
He also directed Atlanta, and he's extremely talented. And pair that with the writing and the whole production of this series in general, this episode was so well done, and it leaves you thinking, like, what is happening, and then your initial thought changes, and then that changes, and then you see the preview and you're like, what? Like, it gives you so many options, and it's just so well done.
I just want to know who is Leroy Jenkins. Like, when he it's like, Leroy Jenkins. I'm like, who is that?
It's from a movie, and I know Bill,
I was like, either is it
I was like, is that one of his
Pulp Fiction
platoon
or
members?
Kill Bill or one of those movies where the people say stuff when they kill
I
somebody?
actually think it's like a meme. So
oh yeah,
Oh,
it might
okay.
be.
So
But-
like from World of Warcraft, I think it's like Pwn and like noobs. I think people in the comments who know what this is are really rolling in their chairs right now. But I'm pretty sure that Leroy Jenkins was a gamer
Okay.
who like would use this as a meme in like World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know Bill. I read something that Bill hated. It was Alec Berg's idea, the co-producer and creator of the show, and only a few people got the reference, and but they all laughed, and they're like, let's just leave it in. Okay, I guess that kind of wraps up the episode discussion, but of course we have to have our very own conversation pieces, very special serial segment.
Yes,
so let's
serial
hit it.
segment. So, in 2002, Robert Blake was arrested and charged in connection with his wife, Bonnie Lee Blakely's 2001 murder after her body was found in North Hollywood with a bullet hole to the head. Blake denied all the charges. He wasn't arrested until, I think, 2005. He was found not guilty. However, he was found liable for her death in a wrongful death lawsuit. He had to pay $30 million. And afterwards, he filed for bankruptcy. He's still alive. He's 84 years old, living in New Jersey. So,
What?
Yes, he used to play Beretta.
did you watch?
Well, no, I'm not old enough to watch Beretta, but hilarious right there. But this trial actually was after OJ, and it was a trial that was on TV news like a lot, and it was hilarious in a weird way because it's like, okay, oh wait, I left my gun in the car. And I'm gonna go because they were leaving a restaurant or something, and then I think, or maybe they got to the car and he's like, "Oh wait, I left something in the restaurant," and then that's when the wife got shot. So it was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, that's
like the whole time. It was amazing that he actually
Got off.
got off. Like that was, it was like a Johnny Cochran.
Do you know
type
why
moment.
they say he wants to kill her?
I think she was kind of like a gold digger. Like that's how they portrayed her in the trial. Like she was a big gold digger.
Well, he still had to pay
Toxic
$30 million. So, and he got off, so he didn't go to jail.
Dang.
Yeah,
Good
you
one.
always pay one way or the other.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go bankrupt. That's okay with us. Is that it for the serial segment?
Yeah, I'm just gonna do one.
Good.
each
No,
time.
because I can't handle hearing more about
Wait,
more
did we
psychopaths.
do? Who did you guys do last week? I wasn't here.
Oh, last week we did Michael Jace.
Okay, because that's why I looked
remember
up.
him?
But I did look him up, but I was like, okay, did you guys do him?
The Shield, from The Shield, yeah.
Yes, from the Shield. Okay, so all right, well then you all already know. Okay.
You guys, for our news and gossip, we don't have that much, but we do have one very important announcement.
Oh wait, I do have something too on news and gossip.
Yes.
Or maybe I don't know what you guys gossip about last week, but Bill, our star, he is in talks for being in the It 2 movie.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I didn't see the first one, so I don't know. You know, obviously, I guess he's not the clown, but maybe there's people who fight against the clown. I don't know, because I didn't see the movie, but yes.
Yeah, no, that would be awesome, and he looks exactly like the character I feel like would grow into.
Oh, okay,
as an
okay.
adult.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't know who the people are in the movie, but I was like, okay, cool.
That's the nicest / meanest thing anyone's ever said.
Erica is nice, nasty all
I'm
the time.
talking about
No,
Steph.
Steph, not me. I don't even know.
Tell Bill Hader next time you see him. You know, if you were to have it, the clown, grow into an adult, it would look
Oh
just
my
like
god.
But it's true, he'd be amazing.
He
Yes.
would.
Yes.
So
So hopefully he gets the part. 'cause
Oh,
he's
yeah.
totally cool. But they're definitely in talks for It Too.
And I feel like this show really shows his depth as an actor, and
Yeah.
he can portray the
Yeah.
darkest roles or the funniest roles in a drop of a hat. So he's awesome. We already hinted at it, but just to announce it, none of you missed this. Paula Newsom will be in the building next Monday, April 30th. Yes.
I'm so excited.
We love Detective Moss. I mean, she's killing this season, and I'm so excited to talk to her because she's an extremely talented, intelligent woman who just has a lot to talk about outside of this show and within this show. So I'm excited to hear about it.
Me
cannot wait.
too.
And
Very
make sure you
excited.
guys that if you have any questions that you want to ask her, anything you want to tell her, to write it in the comments on our YouTube after this episode or on iTunes on the podcast.
Yeah, or tweet to us
Yes.
because we tell you our social media at the end. So feel free to do
Yes. Tweet us, beep us.
Yeah.
Let's get into some predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Erica.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
She
so,
just rolled her eyes,
I
you
know.
guys.
Why do I gotta go first? Yeah, okay. All right. So I feel like the whole Taylor thing is a problem. So I think something between Taylor and Fuchs is gonna pop off because Fuchs can't control Taylor, and Barry is kind of gonna be like the husband stuck in the middle between the mother-in-law and the wife and all that mess. So I feel like that's going to kind of come to a head. So I think Taylor is eventually going to have to die. I don't know if Barry's going to do it. Maybe Fuchs will finally kill somebody. But I think Taylor's going to have to go out because he's actually crazy and uncontrollable.
How do you think he can't control him?
Because he's crazy. He actually is crazy. And I think, because I think Taylor's the one who's giving Barry more ideas. Otherwise, Barry should have taken him out, and he didn't. So I think now it's going to be a problem. And I think that's going to be a problem going forward, like a big one. Because Taylor already snooped through his stuff to get in. Taylor's a problem. Then I think, like I said earlier, I think something really bad is going to kind of happen to Sally to kind of bring her back to being a likable person again. So, and kind of, you know, make things kind of get back on track with her and Barry.
Well, I am totally against that. I think that Taylor's still going to stick around. I think that Barry's going to use him as his replacement. Like I said, I think he will be a good replacement. You need someone crazy. I mean, to do this.
Yeah, you do.
You need someone crazy.
I kind of am on the flip side about that, where I think Taylor kind of proved himself differently when he's like, we're in this together, brother. And I was like, dang, like, maybe he, like, because he is a Marine, too, like, they form partnerships, and those bonds are unbreakable. So I think that Barry and him could possibly team up. I don't know what that... I want Fuchs gone because I thought Fuchs was redeemable, but he's not. He's, like, all about the paper. He screws over Barry on his cut, which is not okay to mess with someone's money like that, especially when they're doing the killing. And, but I love him as a character. I don't want any of the characters to leave. Like, if anyone, it would be Taylor I'd be okay with because I haven't grown attached to him. But... for Barry, Fuchs needs to go.
Yeah, and then whatchamacallit needs to go. They should have already killed NoHo, whatever. NoHo Mike, whatever.
NoHo.
He's funny. No, if you're dumb enough to have a lipstick camera, they should have shot him in the face right then. Like, I don't know what kind of gangsters these are. He
Right.
should
You
have
need the
died.
evidence for no
Thank you.
reason.
He should have died 3 episodes ago.
All I
Take him
know
out.
though is that yikes emoji is the best thing I've ever heard in my
Yes.
entire life.
Yeah.
We haven't given proper homage to the text messages that NoHo sends to Barry because that is so of current day happenings. And I mean, it makes sense that he would have a lipstick camera because he thinks everything's simple.
Yeah, but one thing I
He's
do
an
have to say
idiot.
before we wrap it up, Barry was not watching his surroundings. That's how he got hit in the eye in the middle of the stash house. So I think
He's
that-
distracted.
That's happening every episode. Fuchs followed him to the party. The guy followed him, to the hit. So I think something's gonna happen there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that's true.
With
I
Barry
agree
not
that.
watching
Yeah, because he's
around.
getting he's so upset and getting emotional. He's getting too easily distracted. So.
Okay, well, let's wrap it up, you guys. I'm Steph Sabraw. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Steph Sabraw. Join us next week for Paula Newsome, Chapter 6. Listen with your ears, react with your face. Sounds fun. I'm excited about that.
And I'm Miss Conversation Piece. You can add me on Instagram at Conversation Piece or Twitter, Miss MISS Convo Piece.
What's up, party people? I'm Erika Edwards. You can follow me on all of my social media at Erika, ERIKA, D as in door, Edwards.
We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.